GPVWC 2020 is go!
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to round 13 of the GPVWC Formula Challenge Championship of 2020. And we return to a track that we haven't been since 2017. We're here in Russia at Sochi and looking forward to this evening's action. I'm David Carter, as always, and I'm delighted to be assisted once again by Ewan Gale here this evening. Ewan, how are you feeling? Great to have you back.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm looking forward to it. There's a few more of taking opportunities than we had last time out of Singapore. Obviously, championships sorted at the top, so hopefully we'll have some exciting racing. People not afraid to send it down the inside, maybe, especially into turn 2. And let's see what happens.
Yeah, so a lot has happened in the last 2 weeks. Obviously, Singapore, action-packed, all weather, every weather you can think of happened there as well. Lots of crazy results, crazy action, and a lot has happened as a result of that. We'll talk about that in the few minutes' time. Qualifying has just started for 15 minutes of qualifying now, as per usual. Around the Sochi circuit, and for a lot of these drivers, there's a few new names even just starting today, actually, for their first race. But a lot of these drivers in our Factor 2 would not have driven the circuit before.
No, like you said, we haven't had this the circuit on the calendar for a couple of seasons, so it'd be interesting to see who adjusts to the, in the verted commas, new circuit the best. It's a bit of a weird one. It's got a few different types of sections. It's not necessarily low downforce or high downforce, so it's a few technical twisty sections in it, and you've got obviously 2 pretty long straights as well with heavy braking zones, so difficult for some of the drivers to contend with, I'm sure. Like we said, there's a few people in there who probably adjust to it a little bit better.
Fingers crossed that's the case, as the weather seems to have been taking a little bit of a change. I'd say bone dry for the time being, just getting a bit more cloudy, and we'll get ready for 2 13-lap races ahead of us this evening. But before that, obviously, qualifying just started, and we're going to look to see who can get the pole position. See, the champion Martin Hemmingson's not here today. He's got a 1-round ban, so he can have an extended celebration, extended holiday from the series after winning the championship. And we'll be hoping to see him back in 2 weeks' time at Dakota. But let's see who can take pole today. Everyone's just starting their outlaps here. Ewan, and trying to get a bit of space. As we mentioned as well, Sochi, a bit of a, I'd call it more of a technical track, particularly sector 3 as well. A lot of these sort of 90-degree corners as well. Some of them going a bit off camber. As we're just starting a lap here, I'm going board with Guillaume Branton actually, P10. He's just starting a lap. He's just going through turns 1 and 2 right now, Ewan.
Yeah, absolutely. So turn 1 and 2, a bit of a weird one. It tightens on the exit. You sort of try and get your power on, and then you can stick right to the inside through turn 3. It just goes on forever. Then you've got to pick your braking point for turn 4. You've got a lot more room on the inside than you probably think you would from your entry point. But it tightens again on the outside. Then you've got, oh, there he goes. He's gone off a little bit on turning. Does well to keep it on the wall. But yeah, technical. It doesn't feel as if it should be as difficult as it is. But you think you can carry so much more speed than you actually can. It tightens a lot on most of the corners. Another 90-degree left-hander there, and there's so many traction zones as well around this lap that aren't in a straight line. So it does actually, take quite a lot of technical skill to get round.
Yeah, I'll say it's not so much a driver. It's not a circuit necessarily drivers enjoy, but it does take a damp hand to get around it with return speed as per normal. Let's have a look. So Stephen Lexo was the fastest man in practice, of course. Let's see if he can convert that. Well, now with his repaired brake pedal. He's been having troubles with that in the last few rounds. He had to actually miss Super Cup in Singapore as well because of a faulty brake pedal as well. Looks like for the time being, he's got that sorted as well. He's just going into sector 2.
Yeah, so important that he's got his brakes sorted. It's good to see him back on the grid. Look how much he attacked the right-hander there. So he's up on Branson as Luca Flask becomes the first person to set a lap time 1:45.6. Immediately beaten by Vodka Hofstra.
And then we have got now Omar Galgi with 45.1 in looking blisteringly fast. Omar Galgi has done at times since he's come to GPVWC in the second half of the season, and I think he'll have a few suitors for next year. Jake Dennehan up into P2. He has now replaced Dan Herlock for the rest of the season, with Herlock not being able to get any sort of luck. He probably walked under too many ladders. Or every ladder he could possibly walk under this year, because he's just had no luck whatsoever. But Jake Dennehan takes the seat for the rest of the season there at Santa Motorsports. Sean Frelick in P1 for RBA, who of course looked really, really strong last time out in Singapore. Very, very quick. To the dominant 1-2 victory in race 1 last time out. And Frelick looking to repeat that as Lexo go provisional pole 44.840. German there, back on form, back performing like we know he can do with Ewan.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he's got a bit of time left on the table. He was a little bit wiggly out of the second to last corner. Probably lost a tenth or two. So it'll be interesting to see if he can improve even further on his second run. Very close at the top, got 200ths of a second between Lexo and Frelick. And obviously we've seen that both have been fast all season long. And you were saying about Dennehan, yeah, terrible shame about Daniel Herlock. Really enjoyed watching him racing. Couldn't catch a break, but Dennehan has probably more than earned his go now to the end of the season. He's had plenty of pace and done pretty well when he has been in the car.
Yeah, he's definitely got the turn of speed. Let's see if he can transform that into a few more good results between now and the end of the season. Just seeing Thomas Harvey's up to 5th position, Hoekstra who's 6th, and we got Andre there in 7th position there as well, who won the Academy Series race here yesterday, so he's earned his chance in GPWC Academy team, hopefully kick-starting another career thanks to Menno Klomp running that Academy team all throughout the many seasons we're doing that for now. Luca Flask in 8th place, Michael Furlich in 9th position, and Diego Moscato for the Geo team there ran it top 10. Yes, with Ericsson 11th. He had some bad luck last time out as well. Kevin Morphy 12th, Frenchman. Brandon Smithson in 13th for Rookie Monsters. Tommy Assi returning to Neptune for this round in 14th place, and then Josh Downard stepping in for Jacob Kabashik. Team Boss of Nova, of course, ran out of top 15.
Yeah, and Josh Downard just had a spin as well through the middle sector. Couldn't quite collect it like we saw Branton do on the first run, and ended up going all the way around. So probably decided to pit after that. He was actually personal best in the first sector, so might have been going for a second push lap. Would have been interesting to see if that's what he would have done, but spin put pays any chances of that happening. We'll probably see more people coming in now and then go back out in a few seconds time.
Just noticing another newcomer there, Tom Edmonds. He's driving for Nova Simracing. He's just pushed the limits a bit too hard, had a spin, and that's his first race in GPWC career ladder this evening, as well as another newcomer as well driving for the Friesland team, Josh Paulane as well in P24. I believe both have experience in karting in the past as well. So see how they get on this evening. Hopefully they've put in a few laps of practice and at least get themselves on pace. We haven't seen too much of them on the server. So I just see Paulane actually just bend the car into the wall, losing his front wing. And he's going to drive that car back to the pits, or is that going to be his session over? Of course, if you are new watching Formula Challenge for the first time, you do have to, if you do finish a lap or you do have an accident, you've got to drive the car back to the pits to escape. You have to stay in your pit garage, and if you don't, you will incur a penalty next time up. As Pauline can't seem to find reverse gear, which is not a great start, Josh.
No, teammate Terence Greco just coming around the final 2 corners to set his first lap time. Let's see what he can do round the final corner right now, and he will go. Stays 22nd. So unless he's gone up to 14th, yeah,
14th.
So 14th will do nicely. It's a good start, and obviously the new guys in will probably look to sort of build themselves in through qualifying. You would have expected to, maybe slower first lap and then try and blitz it on the second lap, and really aiming for a result in race 2. I would imagine keeping those clean. Obviously, Josh didn't manage to do that, but keeping those clean, build your confidence up, and try and get a result in race 2.
I've just seen Josh has actually escaped back to the pits and got back out again. And when he left the pit lane, he crossed the white line. So it seems like he's got a bit of learning to do, shall we say. But hopefully for him this evening, it'll be at least an experience for him. Back at the sharp end of the field, though, Lexo still on position pole position and actually doing a slightly faster sector 1 for the time being. He goes in after that long left-hander, goes into the sharp right, where of course Raikkonen and Bottas had that come together all those years ago now, and he goes purple in the first sector as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There's plenty of green coming up on the live timers as well, so plenty of people improving. Flask was the fastest final sector to go P5.
So looking really strong so far. Very easy to make a mistake though in all of these corners, because you're like the anti-cut on the inside a lot of these corners, and they're pretty quick. So if you hit them at the wrong angle, that could ruin your day. Looks like he's getting a cheeky little slipstream now from Josh Downard, his teammate and team boss. Down is back straight into a difficult braking zone, where you're braking and sort of on a curve at the same time. Looks like Lexo gets out pretty well, but runs wide on the exit, and that's a spin into the wall. That is Lexo in the barrier. And that's that attempt ruined, but he's got everyone's got 5 minutes to go now. Lexo probably get a couple more runs in, but that's not ideal. Simon Frelich behind, he's going even faster. He goes into sector 3.
It is, and look how much they're sliding, and look how much they're attacking the apex on the inside of the second part of the chicane. Round the final 2 corners now, again attacking the curb, using as much road as he can on the outside, and look what he keeps on the curb, doesn't overcut the line and goes top.
Curb stuff from Frelich. 44.766. Take provisional pole position. Jake Dennehan's also up to 3rd place. Thomas Harvey's into 4th. Gaugi 5th. Luca Flask, I think, has been very, very good so far. He's been improving, particularly the last couple of rounds.
Oh, we've got a car over. It's Darius Andre. He's gone over on screen. Same place that Branson was struggling earlier, and he's spun into the wall and rolled over, and then without a rear wing, he's spun again at the next corner. So hopefully he can get that back to the pit. He'll probably have time to get that sorted and get back up.
As long as he takes his time and don't go into corners too quickly, because he'll be spinning like a top otherwise. Look at the car getting up settled, and there he goes again. So, learning the limits of the car with no rear wing, learning in the defense, and because he's got Michael Burke now as well. So be awfully careful not to also only get back to the pit safe, but not block Burlich on this lap as well. He moves over to one side, though, sensibly done, and lives to fight another day.
Talking of living to fight another day, Lexo's back out, so we'll see another lap from him. I said earlier, I think he's got some time left. His fastest lap put in provisional pole earlier before Frelich improved. I still think he had about a 10th to improve on, with a few mistakes towards the end, and he's only 700ths down, so it's going to be really, really tight for pole.
It is indeed. I've just seen. Just looking back from the top 15, obviously with the reduced number of competitors today, a lot more people are going to be maybe sniffing at, or at least aim to get a point today. But Tommy Assey's running at 15. Then we've got Nizio, who also did the Academy Series yesterday. He's in the Royal Blue car. Royal Blue Academy car. Yes, Ericsson 17th. Vander Smith's an 18th, but he's just missing onto his car. Thankfully, as Andre Spins going to the pits. We have Morville 19th. Got Danard 20th. Roberto De Bruyne 21st. Caitlin Penny 22nd for downforce, obviously, with Mike Bell and Deegan Fairclough, they're both downforce regular drivers, both banned for this event. So Penny steps in. Tom Edmonds in 23rd. Palin in 24th, still pretty far off pace. And then we've got Rivoli 25th. That's just Philip Pacos and Magnus in 26th. And then Liam Rant stepping in. Literally just joined the server in 27th place. It might be difficult for him to get a lap in. But he's pretty sharpish to get a lap in now. Might just start from the pit lane potentially.
Yeah, doing that might actually keep him out of trouble into turn 1 or turn 2, depends how you look at it, on the first lap. We've seen this season already that when the field funnels down into tight, hard braking zone on lap 1, we do have a little bit of drama. And I imagine the way that turn 1 and 2 are formatted, with the little sort of the kinky chicane on the exit, I can imagine we might see a little bit of trouble as well come race time.
Yeah, say not too many people are going to go all kinky on us through those 6 corners. Hopefully, not. Just noticing. Just noticing as well. Mario Watson's jumped up to P6 as well. He's been having a quiet qualifying session so far. But he's jumped up into that P6, which is important for him. He's looking to keep hold of that third place in the championship this evening. But it does help the fact that in the championship standings, he's helped today with Rozak, of course, not being here, of course, as well. So that is handy because there's only a point between them as well. So it's Frelick, Lexo, and Thomas Harvey are really the main threat for Amari tonight to keep that P3 in the championship. But we'll keep an eye on that as the event and the rest of the season goes on. Still Frelick with 30 seconds to go now. He'll be just starting his final lap in a few moments. Stephen Lexo still in P2. Ian Branton up into 3rd position, P3. Jack Denham 4th, Harvey 5th, McGaughey 6th, Watson 7th, Luca Flask in 8th, making it an 8-6E Racing. 2 cars into the top 8. Andre in 9th, and Diego Moscato rounding at the top 10.
Yeah, so Lexo struggled again in the final sector, so that's where he's losing this time because he was personal best in sector 1 and he wasn't that far off the time in sector 2. So that could be where Frelick might hold on to this, as I think Lexo's come back in. So, I think Frelick looks good unless anyone else improves.
Well, looking at Frelick, Branton's not improving. Dennehan's in the pits. Harvey started the lap. Watson and McGowan are in the pits. There's not many challenges for Frelick to worry about. Darius Andres just started the lap himself. You've still got Hoekstra down in 11th position. Watch out for him. Expect him to make up a couple of places or at least improve on his lap time in his final lap.
Yeah, so Harvey's done a personal best, but he's still the 10th down in sector 1 to Frelick. So, and I mean, yeah, he needs to find 3 tenths to do anything about pole. So it looks done and dry as he goes slower in sector 2. No, that's Branton.
Yeah, so looking at Branton is going to be, I think, out of the guys who's on a lap, he's going to be one of the first. Moscato actually, P11, he's just running the final corner right now. Does he improve his time? Does he goes up to 10th for GOT? I think Branton's given up. He's going back to the pit lane. You got Thomas Harvey, quickly followed by Luke Flask, but Wopke Hoekstra is going to be the next man to set a lap time down in 12th for the time being. As he rounds the final corner, HGP need this. And he goes up to 10th position himself. Thomas Harvey goes back to the pits. Luca Flask looks like he's going to cross the line and does not improve. And we've got Josh Downard as well. It looks like he's going to stop. Hitting Penny's on a lap time still. So is Philip Pacos. And Pauline is well off the pace. And he's just lost the rear wing as well. Just under 10 seconds off the pole time. Hoekstra looks like he's stopped. Peyton Penny is going to go into the pits, and I believe that is qualifying done. So Shimon Frelick, he does a lot for GPVWC, but he's just got himself a pole position. Stephen Lex will be starting alongside him with Branton Dennehan rounding up the second row. Obviously, there's a lot of penalties to go through as well. So expect the change to be completely different from what you see at the moment. It's all very provisional, but we'll see you in a couple of minutes' time. We'll just going to have a quick beverage, and bite to eat, and then we'll be back in about 5 minutes' time for the end of warm up. So we'll see you then. Oh, you're muted, by the way. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you're all having a nice evening wherever you are around the world. And I'll say if you've got any questions about GPVWC regarding how it works, what's involved, curiosity, etc., just feel free to pop a question in the chat. I'm sure one of our regulars who's watching will be able to answer any questions. Or feel free to also join the GPVWC Discord as well, which you find in the description in the video below. And there's well over 500 members on the Discord as well. So there's definitely at least maybe one or two people who can help you out with any information you may want to find out about as well. We'll find out the grid in a few moments' time. There's only a couple of minutes to go as well, Ewan. But I say, I mean, there's only what 27 drivers here today. You know, it's still a fair grid, but not the regular full grid that we experienced. But I guess with Martin not being here, and of course Sven leaving a couple of rounds ago, it does open up the field a little bit.
Yeah, it does open up the field, and you know it's very interesting. Obviously, 1 and 2 in the championship. Sven, we know, isn't going to come back this season, so Watson's only 100 points back, I think, and then it's pretty close between 3 or 4 of them. So, massive chance for them tonight to rack some points up and try and get outright second in the championship. With both of them not there really.
Let's get 8 races to go. 2 of them's tonight. Potential 200 points for somebody. So you get a couple of wins under your belt in the next 4 rounds, or 8 races, and that could really propel you up a few places in the championship. It's all to play for, and people will be starting to look for drives for next season. This is from the challenge, the default, what I call the default series, like the bottom series, and you got Super Cup, Super League, like the Super League as well. So there'll be people, particularly who's fighting the sharp end of the field here, that we expect to see high up next year. For example, What Coaster has already announced himself at Namco, which will be HM Engineering next year in Super League Lights. So I'm looking forward to see him there next year, and I'll be looking forward to taking him on in that series as from team boss to racing for another team, so to speak. But I'll say there's some great drivers in here with some very bright futures as well. I can't get words out this evening. It's a joke. Anyway, 20 seconds warm to go. We're still waiting for the grid to be all organised. I'm sure that'll come up in the next few seconds from our race director, Chris Williamson. Fingers crossed at least, anyway. And here we go. Here's the grid now. So I'll just confirm who's on pole position for you, and that will be Shimon Frelich, P1. Guillaume Branson will be P2, because of course Stephen Lexer had the grid drop as well. He had a 10 place grid drop to take following a penalty from Singapore as well. So it's all completely mixed up. I'll run you through down the full grid in a few moments' time when we get onto the warm-up lap, of course. But after today, we've got obviously the 2 rounds of Sochi, and we go to Kota, Circuit of the Americas. Then we go to Japan. Big favourite. I know, for example, Sandeep, who's our regular cameraman, he loves Japan, particularly after last year. He did hundreds of laps around there. And then we round off the season in Brazil as well. So, we won't be seeing the great title fight like we did with Jonathan Holmes and Sandeep Singh last year, because obviously the title's already wrapped up. But last year, there's some fantastic racing in Formula Challenge. All nose to tail, bumper to bump, wing to wing action, and hopefully we can recreate a little bit of that this year. But warm-up's now finished. Checkered flag is out. Might be a bit of a tough prediction. Now we know the grid. I'll say, who do you think is going to be fighting fit for victory here today?
I honestly have no idea. I think it could be any one of them that starts in the top 10. It's a track that you can overtake on. It's plenty wide enough to get side-by-side action, unlike we saw in Singapore. So, it'd be difficult to pick a winner. Usually the RBAs are looking good. Obviously, Rozak's not there, so you'd feel that maybe Frelich would have a good shout. We've seen him overtaken as well, so he can fight through when he needs to. I'd stick with Frelich probably. I'd quite like to see Jake Dennehan do well. He's shown pace, and now that he's until the end of the season, would be good to see what he can do up front.
Absolutely, and I'll say, to be fair, I mean, I think anyone of the top sort of 8 people were in for a shout for race victory in race 1, and then race 2. you could pick a member out of the hat. Well, they literally do pick a member out of the hat for the grid at least, but it could be anyone. Absolutely anyone. And a circuit like this, as I say, we haven't been here for a few years. Racecraft, actually racing people may not be so used to around a track like this, so it's going to be difficult.
And how often do we say, David, that especially if you're down towards the back of the grid, if you keep your nose clean in race 1, you're giving yourself the opportunity in race 2 with the reverse grid. We know that there'll be accidents, so if you're going to be sort of down the back of the grid, keep your nose clean, see how far you can get, maybe attack towards the end of the race, but build yourself up for race 2, maybe get the reverse grid and pick up some good points.
Indeed, I'll say, if you're the likes of, for example, Philip Pacos, Caitlin Penny, for example, Downard, they'd be aiming for that first grid pole, no doubt about it. But the grid is now lining up finally for race 1 here this evening at Sochi. Track temperature and ambient temperature both 28 degrees, like normal really. And they've got 13 laps ahead of us around Sochi, and the run into turn 1 will be a tasty one, no doubt about that. And a very colourful grid to look forward to. But again, another RBA pole position. Shimon Frelick taking it this time. Branton, of course, the former driver for RBA, is P2, and then we've got McGalgy and Watson and it's second row. As the grid is now forming up, it looks like a couple of people might be starting from the pit lane. I think Tom Edmonds is going to be one of them. He will be starting from pit lane. But now the formation lap has started, and Shimon Frelick, the pole is on pole for race 1 here at Sochi, with Branton, Dutchman rounding out the front row, McGalgy and Watson round out row 2, Andre and Moscato rounding up the third row of the grid. And for Andre, what an opportunity this is today. A debut performance, obviously winning the race yesterday, and now starting from E5. We wish you all the best, Darius Andre. We hope you bring home some points at least. And then again, starting from the position he's in, you might be looking for more than that. Scatter in P6, Tom Stevens in P7, Stephen Lexer, his group penalty goes down to P8, Marco Furlich and Neptune P9, Walker Hoekstra then rounds out the top 10 in the first of the HGP cars. Luca Flas down to P11, Jake Dennehan is P12 for Santon, and we've got Casper Nizio in 13th, with Tomiassi, Brazilian, making his return for Neptune in 14th position. Terence Gretsch, former Super League Lights driver this year, and of course former Formula Challenge winner from last year, is in P15 for Friesland. And Morville is in 16th place, Justin van der Smissen in 17th, and Ericsson there, Valley Sports in 18th place. Roger de Braun in 19th position, Rookie Monsters. Thomas Harvey in 20th, after a big grid drop for him. He'll be looking to carve his way through the field. That's just for Pacos in 21st of Madness. Josh Paulane in 22nd. Liam Rance 23rd after a pretty disastrous Singapore, it must be said, and he's able to have a turn of fortunes here today. Massimiliano Riboli managing to get his team and himself in 24th. Josh Danner 25th. Caitlin Penny in the sole downforce car in 26th place, and then Tom Edmonds on his debut is going to be starting from the pit lane. It's I say a long formation lap here, and difficult to kind of get the car warm actually. Particularly his third sector is pretty slow, so expect particularly the front runners and some cold brakes running into turn 1 and 2, which could promote a bit of chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got they'll have a long wait on the grid, and then they've got the long run down into turns 1 and 2. So expect chaos. It usually comes. Let's see. A lot of the guys up front know what they're doing. Obviously, Darius Andre in his first race might have a bit of surprise when he gets to turn 1 and finds out that his brakes aren't working as well as he might want to. A few people out of position that I'd like to see do well as well. Jesper Eriksson, he had plenty of pace in Singapore, a few mistakes, but I think he might be out of position.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Thomas Harvey has to bring to the table as well. Starting from P20 on the grid. And then Tom Edmonds now lining up down the end of the pit lane. But now the 5 lights here, and for the first time in 3 seasons, the lights out in Sochi. goes out, and we are underway. And Frelick looks like he's got a pretty decent start. Look at a great launch off the line. He's already got a couple of cars length on Guillaume Branton. Galgi's attacking around the outside. As a couple of cars, they're all weaving towards the left-hand side of the road from camera. As they all fan out back to the right-hand side. They're 3-4 wide behind. Who's going to make it through? Looks like everyone's seems to be pretty clean so far. A few people running off the circuit and not taking the turnaround circuit. Everyone takes turn 1 absolutely fine. Brilliant stuff there. So now around turns 3 and 4. Stephen Lexo's had a poor start. He's down to 13th position, and everyone else seems to be getting through pretty nicely. And 3 wide further behind as well. Edmund's also leaving the pit lane, but Ewan here, first half lap or so. I just see a Neptune car running quite wide there. Marco Furlich, that is. And there's a contact. How do they save that? The rookie monster's car. Who was that? Is that Valtteri Brown here? What a great save. He used the Nova car to save himself. That's a brilliant save. I was going to say, Ewan, a fairly clean start there. I nearly see an accident.
Yeah, what were we worried about? You did this in Singapore as well. You said it was a quick start and then someone went and did it. No, good save from both of them there. Decent driver from De Bruyne actually to keep it out of the wall. But clean start. Frelick had a fantastic launch off the line and it stopped Branton having any chance with the slipstream into turn 1. But Galgi had to cut across the corner as Flash goes up the inside and they split a contact with Nizio. And now he's going to be under all sorts of trouble as Lexo comes up the inside into the chicane.
One man who's had a brilliant start is Wopke Hoekstra. P6 from 10th on the grid, and he's just weaving now in annoyance with what Andre's been doing ahead of him as well. Darius Andre not doing himself any favours for friends already, as Danahan, Furlich and Stevens have had 3 wide contact into the final corner, with Nizio there trying to capitalise on him as well in the RBA car. But everyone in the first lap seems to have got away cleanly. No front wings, no nothing. You said Formula challenges a scruffy lead with contact and damage and crashes. Who would have thought that?
They all did very well, and there was a lot of side-by-side action as well. It wasn't as if they weren't trying to get together with each other. So decent driver. Nizio went a little bit wide there. He's going to lose out, I think, as Lexo goes around the outside of turn 3. He'll have the inside into turn 4. And Lexo trying to make some moves as Nizio cuts across him, and that's gonna end badly.
Big contact, and that's 3 cars. Nizio didn't leave space on the inside of the curb there, which then squeezed Lexo onto the curb on the inside as well. So damage there. Also looks like Liam Rance is going pretty slowly. I think he's had a bit of contact somewhere as well. But Jesper Eriksson, the big victim there, all the way down to the back of the field. Nizio's now running off the circuit. Is that a front wing gone on his car? Yes, it is a front wing gone off his car.
I think that's the contact with Eriksson as Eriksson came around the corner and found the car just sitting in the middle of the track. Obviously, not Eriksson's fault. Like I said, that all came from the mistake that Nizio made into turn 1. Outbroke himself, got wide, and that allowed Lexo down the outside into turn 3. Didn't leave enough room, and that's what happened.
We're seeing a move there. Thomas Harvey passing Kevin Morfield, already up to 12th position. Thomas Harvey's at 8 places from the start. Mick Powell's waiting for the field nicely. Back up front, Shimon Frelick. This is just about to start his 3rd lap, and if this is anything like it was in Singapore, you won't be seeing much of that RBA car. Branton won't be seeing much of that RBA car, apart from being very far in the distance. As Frelick now leads by 1.1 seconds. DRS now activated. He used now for the first time this lap. Just seeing that Hoekstra is getting pretty close to the back of Andre's car into turn 1 and 2. 2 and 3, I should say. Turn 1's that little pink at the start of the lap. Everyone's completely out. So with Bowley down the inside in P16 ahead of Philippakos. Philippakos runs wide up the corner, and that let Terence Gretsch pass into 17th as well. Gretsch on the move.
Philippakos was all at the back of Rance. I think Rance made a move into turn 14 on the lap previous. He tried to come back through the final sector and got himself a bit wide into the final corner. That gave Gretsch the run down into turn 1.
There's an RB at the front of the field, there's an RB at the back as Nizio leaves the pits now. But back up front, Branton and Galgi, they're a bit spread out. But Murray Watson in 4th position, there is Andre 5th still, and Hoekstra, Moscato, Denahan, Stevens, Furlich running out top 10, and Lexo, Harvey, Morville, Van der Smissen and Liam Rance running at 15. As apart from that one or two little incidents, it's been pretty good so far, racing-wise. But I think the battle for P5 is the one we're going to be keeping on for the time being. We've doing a fine job, after 3 laps, keeping what goes behind him. And also Moscato doing a good job for the Geo team. This is his best race 1 performance of the season so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the Geo have looked really good since they came in halfway through the season. They've already got a win to their name on the road at least. And Andre's looked good as well so far in this race. He's got Hogster behind, who is no slouch, and he's managing to keep him behind. He's not really losing that much time to Amari Watson ahead either. So good start for Andre. We've already seen him make a mistake in qualifying, so fingers crossed he can keep his head and bring him some decent points.
Turn 1, 2, 2 again. We've got Stevens, Denahan, 8th, 9th, Berlich, 10th, Lexo, 11th. They're running side by side into turn 2. And it looks like they're going to get around turn 4 without any problems either. Stevens holds position, Denahan follows suit. And behind them in P16 we've got Terence Gretsch and Riboli, and it looks like Gretsch has now got past the Italian. Oh, Riboli runs very wide out of there. Goodness me. Getting close to that concrete there. Oh, there's off in the background as well. Is that Tom Edmonds off into the wall? Yes, it is. Gets away with it.
Talking about going wide, Denahan's gone wide. He's just made a move. Stevens went wide in front of him through the middle sector, and Denahan got through. But then the final of the 3 sort of 90-degree right-handers, Denahan went really wide as well. That allowed Stevens to have another go. So Stevens got pushed wide into the left-hander at the end of the middle sector, and that's put Furlich back up into 9th place.
Just seen as well, Stevens as well attacking. Furlich attacking, diving down the inside. Wow, you might as well take the flight to Finland at that rate, because he's absolutely never going to make the corner there. Oh, and the Santon car gets sideways as well. I'll tell you one thing, as we're watching this brilliant battle, Lexo trying to get past all of them now. It looks like to me, he's P9, German driver doing well. Thomas Harvey looking to get involved. Look at this, 5 different teams. Also, you can count the Academy Series team in there as well. Kevin Morville, 6 different teams racing and fighting for P8. It looks like Stevens has got away with it now. I was just going to say though, the cutting so far in this race has been appalling. Everyone running wide, or a lot of drivers running wide off the circuit. Some of it's mistakes, some of it's just poor judgment, but I expect to see a lot of cutting penalties after this event.
Oh,
as I just said,
we got a collision.
And that's Denahan being punted at the backside there. Couldn't quite see who that was
Think
from.
it was Morville.
It was Morville. Yeah. I saw a green car as Marcus Burgess now passing Denahan up into 11th place.
So everyone in that little cluster then, I mean 4 of them now have completely outbraked themselves at various points on the lap, so I can only imagine they're all driving in their mirrors, and then, oh, hang on, there's a corner in front of me, I need to stand the brakes on. Denahan goes wide again through the right-hander, so plenty of people using as much of the track and a little bit more as they can. Like you said, be interesting to see where that goes later on.
Back up front, Frelick leads by 1.3 seconds ahead of Branson, but Galgi's keeping Branson very much in his mirror though. Branson's keeping McGalgi in his mirror because McGalgi is only about half a second behind the Dutchman ahead of him. Watson now in 4th position. He's gapping himself still to Andre, who's got Hoekstra and Moscato still right behind him. And we've got this battle here between 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th, 13th as well. Vander Smithson's also joined this long train of cars. And Terence Gretsch, always a yellow flag. Where's that yellow flag? There it is. Limrat's in the wall. And he's down to 25th as he's gone for a move down the inside of Terence Gretsch. And that's spun himself around and was contact with the Valley Esports car as well. That might have been Riboli. And that has meant Limrat's faced the wrong way down to 25th.
Yeah, it was Greg making a move into the hairpin, and Rance just thought he could try and keep it down the inside into the next left-hander, and it was never going to work because I think Greg had about half the car length in front. So, over-optimistic from Rance, but we understand why people want to fight for their position. We can see everyone's got their elbows out, and can't blame him really, but just not as clean as he would have liked.
Just see there, Branson and McGowan getting very, very close to each other down there, fighting for P2, of course. Don't forget, if you finish between 10th and 15th in this race, you get a chance to get reverse grid pole for the second race here as well. So expect a lot of battling for those positions particularly when we get to the final couple of laps of the race. I'm on board with McGowan here myself in P3, and now we're going down in the back straight. DRS open on board this Thunderdog car now. Let's come down underneath the IMB Raceway Bridge into the braking zone. So Branson's holding middle of the road, locks up front. And McGowan's still attacking here. Of course, while all this is going on, you just see ahead Frelick is also just pulling away at the road a little bit more as well. Gap now around sort of 2-second mark.
Yeah, they were only 1.2 down about a lap ago, so it's really costing both of these drivers. They sort of need to work together maybe to keep Frelick in range. We feel like if McGallagher can get past Branton here, he's probably got a chance of taking the win because he's got plenty of pace. He was faster than Frelick on the lap previous. Obviously, Branton going really defensive in the middle of the track and it slows them both down. So both of them costing themselves time. But yeah, you can't blame Branton. There's fantastic defence.
Yes. And you got to keep an eye out as well for Watson, Andre, Hoekstra, and Moscato, because that last lap, for example, McGallagher was in the high 47s, Watson was in the high 46s. So they can't keep scrapping away like that for too many laps, otherwise they're going to have that bit dark green and black Santon car all of them mirrored.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's working perfectly for Patrick Rozak. Obviously not here today, but with his teammate obviously winning, and then two other people in front of Watson, is limiting the amount of points that Watson's gaining. So good news for him.
So it's 1 point between the two as we wait into this round. Watson, Rozak by a single point. Just going to look for the battling bit further back as well. Tom Stevens in 8th position with Lexo and Thomas Harvey right behind them as well as they get into this DRS straight now. We're now nearly halfway, well, just over halfway through this race now. Lap 7, of course, in this 13-lap race. And Lexo has the run on the English driver ahead.
Yeah, nice late on the brakes for Stevens, but Lexo had plenty of grip on the inside. He rolled it around the outside. We've seen plenty of people
he's lost it! There's such when he needed Furlich did well. Wow, he made his decision, he stuck with it. But Lexo now with that spin, all the way down to 14th place, it's allowed the two English drivers ahead of he was fighting with Stevens and Harvey, 8th and 9th. And Harvey was making a move down the inside. Off the off-camber corner as well, particularly in that first sector. Those off-camber corners can be very, very annoying for a driver, shall we say, but particularly when trying to get the power on.
Well, we saw him do the same thing in qualifying earlier, didn't he? And he ended up without a front wing. So he's lucky that he kept it out the wall. Furlich wasn't too badly hampered either. Didn't lose any positions, but he lost time as Harvey goes down the inside into turn 1 wide, and that will allow Stevens back up the inside into turn 3. So unlucky for Harvey, he couldn't quite get it slowed down in time.
It's worth the effort though, and he knows what to roughly what to do. But also, of course, Stevens is going to know what to expect into turn 1 next time around. Further back, obviously not much. Well, there's a little bit of a fight for 15th. We've got Riboli, Danahan and Luke Flask fighting for that final point position. And of course, all these points, particularly for the teams lower down the championship, I'm looking at the teams like Friesland, who's got a car in the points at the moment. Rookie Monsters also got a car in the points at the moment. They'll be hoping that they finish there, because there's a big old scrap in the bottom of the championship, and you don't want to be down there at the end of the season, that's for sure.
No, absolutely. And we just had the Jake Danahan and that battle on screen just a few moments ago, and Danahan went wide again. I'm just wondering whether he's got any damage on the car, because he seems to be going wide more often than he's staying on the racing circuit. He's dropping positions like stones, and we saw how much pace he had in qualifying. So, yeah, very weird race, considering he got himself back up into the top 10 at one point as well from his qualifying position. So it'd be interesting to see if he has got a problem on this Anderson car.
Is it brake fade, tyre fade, or brain fade? Because it's if you're running wide that many times, you got to think to yourself, well, maybe I'll just take it a little bit easier. Try not to cut the traction time. A little bit. Might as well save the tyres a little bit for the race. Because even though Sochi historically has not got a lot of tyre wears, I'm just seeing McGallagher pass Guillaume Branton up into P2. Great stuff in there. There's actually more tyre wear around here than what people may have expected. Compared to real life, so they still manage these tyres all the way to the end of this race. I saw Stephen Lecter who's saying I'm getting 7% wear at that, but goodness me, got pin that back a little bit.
Oh, contact. Dennehan goes round. He went up the inside of Massimiliano Riboli, and Riboli sort of chopped him off a little bit, made contact. Dennehan couldn't keep it in a straight line, loses position to Nick Flask.
That's a difficult one. I think when Dennehan was under braking there alongside, I mean, he couldn't just disappear. That's the problem.
No, he was plenty enough up the inside, I think. So
difficult stuff there. But just to recap on the race so far, so we're now on getting near towards the end of lap 9. Simon Frelick leads by 2.7 seconds. He's ahead of Owen McGalvey, who's ahead of Ian Branson. That's your podium originally. And then Watson in 4th. Darius Andre still got Wopke Hoekstra right behind him. It's been like that the whole race so far. They're 5th and 6th. Moscato still keeping tabs and running miles off track in the process. P7. Tom Stevenson 8th. Thomas Harvey 9th. Marco Furlich running out top 10. Kevin Moorfield 11th. Brandon Smithson 12th. Terence Scratch 13th. He's got now the recovering Lexo right behind him. Lexo 14th place. And then we've got the battle for the final points position. Luke Flask holding off Riboli for 16th.
Yeah, Hoekstra is going to be all over the back of Andre down into turn 1, DRS wide open as well. This should be the move, I think. Up the inside he'll go. Who's going to get latest on the brakes? Andre, way late on the brakes. Really good defence over the orange curb, and Hoekstra can get the move done.
Yeah, Andre braking really late there. He ran a bit wide there. Just something to look at after the race. But we'll see how this battle progresses. I think Andre's just going for it. I mean, to be fair to him, he's got nothing to lose. It's his first appearance. He's running P5 in a series where, admittedly, there's a few drivers missing today. But he's still holding up the likes of Hoekstra. He's no mug. He's no slouch in these cars. Should have had the race win back in race 1 of the season, Australia, until a back marker. Downforce got in the way and wouldn't leave the track as he came to lap him. But Hoekstra, very, very good experience of reputation and experience at this level, and Andre doing a fine job holding him up for now.
I think the most impressive thing with Darius is if you have a look at the delta between his fastest time and the slowest time on lap 10 is 2.5 tenths, which is incredible consistency for someone who's new to the series. So, if you can keep that up, you're on to a winner, really. Just
seeing that Tom Stevens and Thomas Harvey still battling along. Harvey went for a move down into that back straight, but went off the track. Couldn't get the car stopped in time. Stevens retook the position. That allows Marco Furlich to close up a little bit as well. So, not a deal for them. We have got 3 laps to go in this first race here at Sochi, and Simon Frelick still leads, and he's still maintaining a very, very quick pace. 46.4 from him, 44 from McGalvey, 47.0 for Branson as his tyre wear starts to kick in. And Amari Watson is on the manhunt. He's hunting down the Dutchman ahead of him. He's closing the gap.
He is, and he desperately needs it for that second place in the championship as well. Because, like we said, he's got 100 points to Sven, who's obviously not coming back. So 100 points in 8 races, a third is a great way to start chipping away at that. So, Watson, critical if he can get through on Branson.
So the gap now around a second. Now, there could be a hint of DRS for Amari as we go into the long stretch, but we'll see. We'll find out in a few minutes' time, of course.
Oh, look how wide Andre's gone through the right-hander at the end of the sector. Hoekstra's going to be all over the bat. I wonder if he's got a bit of tyre wear because he's struggling to keep it on the track. This Andre. Hoekstra's going to be all over the back of him down the back stretch.
He looks a bit sketchy all of a sudden to Darius Andre, but still holding out.
Yeah, we were nice to him.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Well, I'll say you've got a bit of one, you've got a bit of the other, so to speak, So, no, I mean, it's he looks up there as well, but I'm not sure how Wopke Hoekstra's feeling about this. He might get a bit frustrated sat behind the Andre's car for the whole race.
Yeah, but the thing is he had a chance there, Wopke, and he got all sorts of squirrely out onto the back straight. He had a horrendous bit of traction, and he lost so much time down the back straight. And all of a sudden, he's lost the chance into turn 1 now as well because he's nowhere near the back of the car in front. So if he's getting frustrated and he's getting on the loud pedal too early, then he's just ruining his own prospects.
He is indeed. And just noticing at the back of the field as well, Caitlin Penny, not sure the circumstances, but has received a drive-through penalty as well. Downforce is Evening not getting any better. Having 2 banned drivers now. The standing driver and the drive-through penalty as well. 2.5 laps to go. Back up front, Szymon Frelick 3 seconds ahead of McGaughey. And then Branton and Watson still getting ever closer to the gap now. Less than 7/10 as they go at the end of Sector 1.
Yeah, but Branton on the last lap did a personal best Sector 1, so he's still got a little bit of pace.
Branton had a horrible error going into that right-hander, though, getting all squirrely and sideways, and again running wide over the anti-cut, understeering like an absolute pig through these corners is Guillaume Branton's car, and Amara's going to be licking his lips. Yeah, you can smell the bacon ahead, so to speak, on the barbecue as he goes through that right-hander going into the DRS straight. People
obviously struggling a little bit with tyre wear, and obviously, we were saying earlier, the way the traction zones work with the rear tyres, and obviously you've got your high-speed left-hander, especially through turn 3, the high-speed right-handers, all of the wear's asymmetric, it's not evenly spread across the car, so different people struggling in different positions here.
Yeah. Indeed they are. There's a lot of these sort of 90-degree corners as well, which some can take quite a fair amount of speed as well. So tyre heat more than degradation as well, just as key. As you see Branton understeering again through these right-hand corners, and Watson trying to set himself up, can't do it. As we now enter the final lap of the race, and Frelick, it's just cruise control now, isn't it, at the front of the field?
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly the same as we saw in Singapore. He's looking really at home with RBA, isn't he? And he's doing some fantastic performances, really backing up why he's in the car in the first place.
So he goes through turn 4 for the penultimate time for RBA to be their second race 1 win in a row after the dominant 1-2 performance at Singapore. In very different conditions, like I say, in the pouring rain and a chaotic race that was. Today, not much has gone on really, for a Formula Challenge race. He nearly loses it actually through that corner, pushing a bit too harshly on Frelick there, but getting the job done as it's half a lap to go now. Just going to keep an eye on this battle for P3 for the time being. Branton and Watson still going at it.
Yeah, very quickly, Stephen Letter's got back up into P11 after his spin earlier. He just got past Kevin Morville into turn 1. So damage limitation for Stephen.
Just seeing that Branton and Watson both running wide. Out of that right-hander as well to move down the DRS straight once again. I'll tell you what, I'm sorry to say it, but there's going to be a lot. If people start reporting cutting penalties, pretty much everyone's going to get one because it's appalling. But Branton's made a mistake there. Can Watson get down the inside? It doesn't look like going into the chicane. It's a bit of contact between the two. Branton holds position. We've got to give Szymon Frelick his due, so he's going to come across the line, start to finish. Led every lap, and Frelick takes the victory from Ewan Gale, and looks like Branton's going to hold on to P3 as well. There might be a bit of question marks over that after the race, but Branton holds on to 3rd, Watson 4th, Andre 5th. He'd be really pleased with that. Hoekstra 6th, Moscato 7th, Thomas Harvey in 8th, Tom Stevens in 9th, Marco Furlich rounding out the top 10, Lexer recovers to 11th, Morville 12th, Vander Smithson, rookie monsters get points, as well as Friesland as well, 13th and 14th for them two respectively, with Tim Stretch 14th for Friesland, and then Luca Flas ran out the top 15. Then we got Riboli just missing out on the points. Downard likewise in 17th. Tomiassi looking like he's going to run out of fuel. No, he's not. He's finishing 18th. Jake Dennehan down in 19th. He'll be disappointed with that. Yes, for Ericsson 20th, Liam Rance 21st, Philip Pacos 22nd, Tom Edmonds 23rd. To the Brown 24th. Nijo will be rounding out for RB8 in 25th position. He's just come around on his debut. He's come around the final couple of corners. 25th. Then we got Josh Pauline, who's not looked quick on his debut, but as I say, it's a learning experience for him. Maybe for your Academy Series race, it might be a bit more beneficial for him before racing, but. Yeah, it's all part of the experience, as I say. And then Caitlin Penny is going to, after her drive-through penalty, will be rounding out the runners and riders here today. Comes across the line in 27th. That has been race 1. Szymon Frelick with a very, very strong performance there once again. And McGaughey doing himself plenty of favours next year as well. P2 for Underdog, Branson P3. An outstanding race at the front of the field again, Ewan.
Yeah, there's plenty of examples of good side-by-side racing as well. Obviously, a bit of a shame to see so many people running wide through some of the corners. Two factors that can play into that as well is tyre wear. You know, a lot of it looked like understeer rather than people just playing flat out abusing the track limits. And the other thing is, you know, if you're frustrated behind someone who keeps going wide, at what point do you just say naff to it and do it yourself if you're trying to get through? So yeah. But good side-by-side action, plenty of standout performances. Darius Andre obviously in fifth, having to be one of those keeping Hoekstra behind. And Moscato really doing everything right and having a nice quiet race in P7.
Absolutely. We're going to take a few minutes break because we need a little bite to eat, I think, after that. A little drink, a little refreshment. And we'll see you in warm-up. We'll see you in about 5 minutes' time or so. Welcome back, everybody. I say we're just got just less than 2 minutes to go in this warm-up session. Reverse grid pole number is the full fat 15. That means Luca Flask, the Maltese driver, will be starting in pole position here for race 2. He'll be alongside him. It'll be on all Malta front row because Terence Scratch is there as well, alongside him for Friesland as well. And I say big thanks, by the way. I forgot to mention at the start of the broadcast, but Gerrit de Vries for stepping in, performing the challenge today, doing our cameras and all the graphics as well. Got some new fresh graphics as well from Hygo Puma as well. And I know Shimmer Frolic has done some great work as well behind the scenes. So thanks to all of you guys for the hard work you put in behind the scenes and in your own spare time as well. I say it's just less than a minute to go in this warm-up session. I'm just waiting for some people to come back and sort themselves up. It looks like everyone has made it back for the second race. And Ewan, again, we mentioned this Singapore last time. We were saying of the wet conditions, everything else made it difficult to pass. The guys at the back of the grid today might have a bit of an easier time if things were passing, potentially.
Yeah, we saw plenty of good moves in race 1 as well. So what we've seen is actually quite a lot of overtakes happening all the way through the lap. We said that we had obviously the 2 long straights here in Sochi, but to have all of the side-by-side moments all the way through the lap, especially all the way through Sector 3, is really encouraging for the guys down at the back of the grid. And if they can keep it clean and keep it out of the wall, we didn't actually see that many incidents in race 1. Probably see plenty of movement through the field.
Indeed, we do. And apologies, I stand corrected actually from what I said in the first race. It was RBA's third race 1 win in a row, not the second. So, getting old, guys, it's comes of age, we forget things, okay? It's not easy. All these young sim races coming through does make you feel old as well. Trust me, it's always like these 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds coming through the system. And I remember when I was that old and starting, and it felt good being that age when you start sim racing. And now everything's just effort now.
How long ago was that, David? How long ago was that?
Nice stuff. There we go. Anyway, warm-up's over. We have got a second race to sort ourselves out. Again, track temperature, ambient temperature, still 28 degrees, still nice and hot in Sochi, in Russia, in this time of year. And everyone, again, lining up on the grid. Obviously, we've had a bit of a taster of what to expect after race 1. A few incidents here and there. Everyone just about survived, barring the odd front wing here and the drive-through there. But we've now got a second race, and what a chance. Again, Luca Flask again in a great position, like it was in Monza, to get some good points. It all went a bit pear-shaped back then with the incidents that happened flying for the air, but now he's got another chance from pole to bag himself some great points for the ever-improving 860 racing team. I must say they've been really, really good, much better than I expected.
I've got a feeling he might have been on the podium in the reverse grid in Singapore as well, because I think he was up there. So consistent, and this is what I've said all season long, is consistency brings you results. And it worked for Darius Andre in race 1 in terms of lap times. It's working with Flask in terms of finishing position. He's getting himself in with a chance of a decent reverse grid draw and then making the most of it. So fingers crossed they can do the same here. Plenty of competition behind those. Stephen Lexo is surely going to be dangerous starting in 5th.
Well, we're running through down the full grid, and let's see what happens after that. But it's an all Malta front row. Luca Flask and Terence Scratch for 860 Racing and Friesland, respectively. Then we have Justin van der Smissen, who we had a good chat with earlier today, actually, and wish him all the best. He's in P3, I think his best grid position in GPVWC in his career so far. Kevin Morvey on P4, the Frenchman. Stephen Lexo, hoping for a much better turn of luck in this race in P5. Marco Furlich in P6 for Neptune. Tom Stevens in 7th for the Thunderdog team. Thomas Harvey in P8 for Gridline. Of course, they was battling really hard in race 1. Then we've got Moscato in P9. Wopke Hoekstra in P10, the Dutchman. And Darius Andre in P11. Interesting to see how he does in this second race. Now he's in the real meat sandwich of the grid. Amari Watson in 12th. Dion Branson in 13th. McGallagher 14th. And then we've got our race 1 winner, Shimon Frelich for Royal Blue Academy. I see Melania Riboli in 16th. Josh Downard in 17th. Tomiassi 18th. Jake Dennehan in 19th position. Ericsson in 20th. Liam Rance in 21st. Nassus Philippakos 22nd. Tom Edmonds in 23rd. Francis De Bruyne in 24th in the Rookie Monsters car. Casper Nizo 25th. Josh Paulane hoping for a much better run of things in 26th. And Caitlin Penny rounding out the field in 22nd again in that downforce car. And standings will be looking very interesting. It's good, interesting to see what standings look like after today's event, actually, because now after today we've got 3 rounds to go, and for some teams they'll be focusing on next season, of course, Ewan. Some teams they'll be just fighting to maybe get their first win.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is why, you know, sometimes actually it can be a little bit exciting. Obviously, championship is already over, drivers' championship wise, so you know we want to see the championship go down to the wire. But then actually you can get some really exciting races because people don't really have anything to lose, and they are building for next season, trying to get some momentum to take into next year. So, you know, let's see what the guys can do in the top half of the field here.
Well, yes, Ericsson decided to pit, so he's going to be starting the pit lane. But meanwhile, the 5 lights are going out the front of the field. And we're away, and it looks like, again, a decent start from the pole man, Luca Flask. This time getting a good start. And they're all fanning out a little bit wider behind. Neptune holding it very tight on the inside of Turn 1. They'll blast down towards Turn 2. A car running on the grass, actually, in the background. Is that Penny's car? I think it was. Terence Stretch looking down the inside of Luca Flask, and they're all running wide, and there's contact behind. I think that was a gridline car sideways, but actually managed to recover that. A few cars running wide there as well. Just see Caitlin Penny's got another drive-through penalty at the start as well. Yes, Ericsson running at the back of the field after leaving the pit lane, but going through turns 4 and 5. Contact. Oh, gridline car go flying off the circuit. Rejoins correctly. And looks like Downard as well, weaving his way through the field. Yellow flag ahead. Who's that off the track? There's that Steve Lexo. It's Lexo. And Morville as well. Oh, there was contact there between Tom Stevens, it looked like. Stevens hitting the back of Morville's car, who just harpooned himself into Lexo's innocent victim, Lexo there, of course. And there was more contact there behind as well. Neptune car getting involved with Caitlin Penny without a front rear wing, and Josh Palin as well in trouble. So that is Caitlin Penny, no front or rear wing. Disaster for her. And that is not to say evening over there. But back at the front, Luca Flask maintains the lead. It's still the same 3 at the front, and then Moscato 4th, and then Tom Stevens just about holding on to 5th place. Furlich with a great start.
Yeah, really good effort from Marco Furlich.
Oh, spinner at the back. Spinner back. Sorry to cut you off there, Ewan, but that is a red Royal Blue car. Nizio having a spin.
Messy first lap for plenty of people. Obviously, carnage was brought about by the Lexo and Morville incident. So plenty of people in trouble. We had, I think, Nizio, there's this spin on screen now. The guys up front were clean enough though, and it's good enough for Flash to get a decent gap out front already.
Birch makes the move into 5th position. Great move on Tom Stevens into turn 2. And Branton and Hoekstra now, the Dutch Brigade, are going to try and capitalise on this as well. P7, P8, Hoekstra down the inside of Branton. Branton losing it down the inside, kamikaze it past the whole field, and it looks like Stevens just about got away with it, but Branton there completely locking up the car with the balance of the car getting completely affected under braking and losing the back end of the car. Somehow did not damage his car.
I haven't seen anyone lose it like that all season long. How no one hit him as he came flying across the apex backwards, I don't know. Shame for Guillaume, because I haven't seen him make a mistake like that all season either. So he's been pretty consistent. So he's still in points though, and hopefully he can get back up, but his tyres will be hurting.
Oh, they'll be stuffed. They'll be absolutely stuffed. And he has a bit of higher tyre wear than normal as well because he's on a controller as well. So he's going to be struggling. And Thomas Harvey already passing the Dutchman. Going into the braking zone, is he? Is Branson going to try and hold down inside? Whoa, Harvey just loses the back end all by himself, just about catches it. Branson holds on for now in that 14th position. Back up front, Branson's teammate, Luca Flask, still out in front.
Yeah, and he's got a nice buffer as well. He's not going to be in any trouble down into turn 1 at the moment, with obviously DRS now available for the drivers. So, yeah, pretty consistent gaps between first and second, second and third and fourth and fifth as well. So, can't see, unless people start losing a bit of tyres towards the end of the race, the top 5 are pretty well spread out.
Yeah, it might just take one mistake for that to all change, but as it stands, everyone's looking pretty settled. The closest battle at the front sharper end, Coacher and McGalvey, 6th and 7th, and got Rivoli, Stevens, Watson, and then behind them, Downard has made some brilliant progress up the field. He's up to 11th position, past Simon Frelick as well, and they got Denham behind.
It wasn't particularly on the track though, the move. That's the only thing I would say. It's that same line that most of the guys, to be fair, have been taking through turn 2 over the orange curb. So as he gets himself out of shape as well, he'll lose the position straight back. And another as well, as I think that is, who's that coming through?
Denham passed, and Branson's...
car in the wall. I think it was Darius. It was Darius.
It was.
No front wing, no rear wing. Just got wide onto the curb, lost the rear end and into the wall on the inside.
So after all the glory of race 1, finishing in the top 5, it's all gone down the toilet, hasn't it, in race 2, after exciting on the AstroTurf, and now the car is absolutely doing a Ragozza from Baku, isn't he? He's trying to carry on, probably going to try and pass the car, going down his side. Don't do it, Darius, don't do it. It's not worth it.
I tell you what, De Bruyne and Rance did fantastic not to hit him as he came back across the track.
Well, talking of De Bruyne, he's spun himself down in 25th, but he's recovered the car nicely, but he's lost a lot of time. But look at the battle for P11. Jake Dennehan hold up a long line of cars. Look at this, up there to P16.
Yeah, De Bruyne did what Darius did just now. He got wide on the curb as Rance was making his way through, put the loud pedal down and lost traction on the AstroTurf and went round.
Back up the sharp end, Furley up to 4th. He's ahead of Van der Smith, again a bit of an off-track pass there. I'll tell you, I can't even comment more about the going.
There's a track there somewhere if you look close
come
enough.
on. I'll tell you, if it's after 11 o'clock, the F's&Q's will be coming out about some of the driving here with the car, because it's really, really poor. But anyway, Furlich is trying to defend from position. Whoa! Hoekstra's just gone miles off the circuit. McGalgie's made him pay for it, up back to 6th position. And it looks like then behind him, Stevens, Riboli in 9th, Watson 10th, and then it's this big long train of cars from 11th to 16th. I want to keep an eye on this. This is very, very meaty.
It is very meaty in that little group as well, from 10th down to 15th, 16th. Frelick's stuck behind Dennehan at the moment, can't get through. And really hurting his chances of getting some decent points in race 2 after obviously winning race 1. So only made 3 places so far, and 2 of those people had spun out at the start. So
just seen Moscato try and make a move in for P2 past Bratch, but he was far too late on the brakes on the inside. Angle was too tight for the corner of the speed he was approaching at, and he just went off the circuit. Gretsch retook the position easily. But now, not only that battle for P11, which is very, very nice to watch, I must admit, the battle for P4 is also hotting up. Van der Smissen, Furlich, McGalgie, Hoekstra, Stevens, and then Riboli and Watson will be tagging along in a few moments' time.
Yeah, and all of a sudden that sort of steady gap that we're talking about between the first 5 cars in the space of 2 laps.
It's a spin! Spinning at the back of the field, final corner. Ransom Philippakos, I think that was, having a spin. Rance coming off worse, and Tom Edmonds is also facing the wall backwards. The Bruns nearly lost it. Oh, it's Taj. There's so much happening in just a short space of time. Tom Edmonds has lost it into the wall and has retired. Liam Rance spun by himself, with Philippakos also spinning by himself as well. And then Belter de Bruyne just spun in sympathy, I think. But Edmonds retired from the race. That's before the final corner.
Yeah, so everyone's starting to lose it now on the AstroTurf. When they're turning in or when they're putting the power down, they're starting to drop it on the AstroTurf. So if that's not going to deter everyone else, I don't know what will.
Just looking now through the field. So let's have a recap. It's been far too rough and chaotic. Just Palin's also retired from the race. He's had a bit of a meh day, hasn't he? You know, it's not been good, but as I say, experience nonetheless. But Luca Flas, 2.6 seconds up the road. He can send a postcard and he'd still be out in front at the post box. But there we go. There he is in the lead. Gretsch is now under pressure from Moscato still. That's second and third place. And then it's great battle for fourth. Van der Smissen, Furlich, McGaugy, Hoekstra, Tom Stevens. That's about between fourth and eighth place. Right now, it's Mozzle. And then Murray Watson now past Raboni and now closing up to the back of these guys ahead of him as well. That's the ninth position. Raboni's 10th, Dennehan 11th, Reddick 12th. He's not made that much progress. Branson 13th, Harvey 14th. Yes, but Ericsson running up the top 15.
Yeah, so what's fascinating in this group from 4th to 8th is the variety of lines people are taking to try and throw the competitors off the scent. Because you've got McGaugy, for example, sitting in 6th behind Furlich. Furlich doing all the work up Van der Smissen, but McGaugy's all over the road just trying to find some extra drive or some extra traction to try and take advantage. As there goes Frederick up inside, that breaks himself, slides, goes wide, and I'd imagine Van der Smissen will go back round the outside and down the inside into turn 4.
Yeah,
but here comes McGaugy.
Yeah, I was going to say, watch out for McGaugy. He's going to try to get advantage because Virtue's Spring's trying to let back the position pass, which he unfairly gained, and McGaugy's going to rob both of them. Look at that. What positioning, what opportunity there from Owen McGaugy.
Yeah,
to
look
pass
at
both
Furlich as
cars.
well. He lost the position to Hoekstra as well, so Furlich had a nightmare there.
So he picking up £20, dropping £20 and picking up 6. He gained 1 place and lost 3 as a result. Extra just as opportunistic. Get past the Neptune car there. Tom Stevens as well. Obviously the second of the Thunderdog cars. Looking to capitalise as well. And Mario Watson now is on the train.
He is on the train, and important points for him, as we've said all the way through the night. So if any of these make a mistake, we've just seen what happens if you go offline. Furlich lost plenty of time, and now Hoekstra goes to the outside of Van der Smissen, and he's going to make it work, I think, as well, down the inside then as they crisscross, and a really good move from Vodka, that's more like it.
Great move. Just seen as well, Philip Liv in separate incidents. Oh, there's a spinner there, and that's Furlich, and Watson had nowhere to go but into the side of Furlich's car after a punt, a tap there from Tom Stevens as he stuck his nose inside, and Watson had nowhere to go but inside of Furlich's car, and that is race ruin for Amari Watson. He has retired, Philip Pacos has retired, Liam Rance has also retired in very quick succession as well. But that's heartbreak there for both Furlich and Amari Watson, as now Marco Furlich is now going to the pit lane after his race has been well and truly ruined himself.
Yeah, obviously more heartbreak for Watson than Furlich with everything going on in the championship. No sooner had we said about how important it was for Watson that happens. Sort of 6 of one half and a dozen of the other between Furlich and Stevens. You sort of feel that maybe Furlich could have given a bit more room on the inside with Stevens there, but then was Stevens far enough up the inside to warrant that? That will be something that I'm sure will be talked about after that.
Yeah, I think there'll be a report going in. Let's just say that, and some very unhappy campers. Off camera, by the way, Gerrit Moscato's up to second. He's past Terence Gretsch. Now there's a big, massive 5-second gap to Luca Flas. Flas has just cleared off. He's got on the flight home. He's not hanging around. That's for sure. He just wants this race over with. But watch out, Moscato and Gretsch got to watch out, because now the battle after that incident with Watson and Furlich and Stevens, McGaugy's now got clear air and he's been looking quick. And so Moscato and Gretsch will have to watch out for McGaugy in the next few laps. Obviously, just over the halfway distance, we're just about to finish lap 7 of the race.
It'd be interesting to see what lap times Moscato and Gretsch start doing now that they're not fighting, because on the last lap when they were fighting, they were 1.7 seconds slower than Flas car front, but more importantly 2 and 3 seconds slower than McGaugy. So yeah, they need to pick up the pace. I think they have on this lap. That's more like it from Moscato, but yeah, McGaugy personal best, blowing them out of the water.
So retirement: Andre, Watson, Philippakos, Rance, Edmonds, Pauline in this race, and still got 21 runners going around the circuit. But a few trials and tribulations, like normal, it must be said, in race 2 in Formula Challenge. It can get very, very scruffy. But Luca Flas don't care. He's up the road. He's well ahead. Moscato, Gretchen, and McGalgee there trying to close it as quickly as possible. The gap around 2 seconds to the Maltese driver ahead.
Yeah, on screen, Lexo tried to make a move on Casper Nizio for P16, but really good defence from the RBA. Managing to break plenty late enough around the outside of turn 1 and keeping Stephen Lexo behind. A bit of a sorry race, really, for Stephen Lexo after such a good start.
Yep, he has. It's just not gone to plan, has it, today for Lexo? And it's been errors on his part, incidents maybe as well, but it's just not gone to plan for the German driver, which of course he missed a lot of the season, but he missed a lot of the first part of the season, but it's just a man of his quality is just not gone right. I've just seen Diego Moscato just running completely off the circuit into the third sector as well. I don't know where he think he was going, but he just accelerated on the AstroTurf completely for a length of almost half a bit of a straight there, but he holds on for now in P2. Gretsch third, McGowan is still closing in 4th position.
Yeah, that's a difference as well. If you run wide there and use all the road, you're going to lose plenty of time. Look how much time we lost, at least 3-4 tenths. So, no benefit to running that wide there. Probably a mistake rather than something he was trying to do. Let's see, because Greg is obviously right on his back now and will have DRS benefit.
Well, he didn't make the move into turn 2. So he's looking pretty pacey. Gretchen, he's got a reputation that says he should be passing him here. 3 wins last... not 3 wins, was it? No. He won last year in Formula Challenge. I have to remember he won in COTA, race 1 actually. As well, in a very, very strong field there. And of course we go to COTA next week, so I think if 2 weeks time, so if we go there, I'm pretty sure Friesland will be happy to take him on for that, considering his history there.
And obviously, if these two guys start fighting,
as
he hits the curb, I think, on the inside and went wide. But as these two start fighting, it's just bringing McGogey and Hoekstra back into the race as well for the second and third positions.
Oh, McGalgee is there, isn't he? He is.
I think Lexo's out. Lexo's out.
And Lexo has retired from the race as well. We didn't see what happened there, but problems for the German again, which is really unfortunate. He's a man of calibre. Won Super Cup as well in Australia, so he's a man with talent. He's just not come together in Formula Challenge today. But battle for P2 firing up. Moscato, Gretchen, McGalgee. Don't forget Hoekstra, Van der Smissen, Stevenson, Dennehan as well. Be looking to close up to this battle as well.
Yeah, and if they do the lap times that they were doing when Greg and Moscato were the other way around, then they will really be on the tail of them in about a lap's time. Just going back to Marco Furlich down in 19th, look at the pace that he's doing now that he's in a bit of clean air and out of trouble. I think he might have pitted as well, but a 1:45.7 is miles faster than anyone else in the track.
Just if Novus Day couldn't get any worse. Josh Downhouse has no front wing, and nor does Massimiliano Riboli as well for Rivali Esports. I think he had contact with Branson somewhere on the circuit. I could be mistaken, but no front wing for Downard, no front wing for Riboli.
McGalgey's going to take second.
He's going to take both of them. Yes, he is. Look at this. There's been a bit of squabbling there. And I've got to watch it on replay because it looks like, I reckon that Moscato and Gretsch were battling into turn 5, which it was because Moscato's battling down inside. Gretsch runs wide and McGalgee says, "Thank you very much. You two squabble on for that."
Exactly the same as earlier. The same as earlier. He did exactly the same, took 2 positions at the same corner, and fantastic driving, really, you have to say. And, absolutely fully worth P2 at the moment.
He's been stunning, hasn't he? And he's made his way through, but you just saw before that as well, he had the pace advantage. But to get them both in one move, he'd be rubbing his hands with glee there. He'd be really, really happy with that. The boat's probably gone now to Luca Flask, admittedly. The gap's now 7 seconds. Just to say P2 in a first race like this. We'll take that. As just looking further behind as well, we've got Jake Dennehan and Justin Van der Smissen battling away for P6. And Tom Stevens is there as well. Stevens trying to take the opportunity down inside. Can't do it. Dennehan defends for now. As we've got 3 laps to go.
Yeah, really like to find out over the coming days whether Dennehan did have damage in race 1, because, I called it that he looked too slow and was dropping like a stone when he was fast enough in qualifying, and this proves it. He's made plenty of progress through the field. Here he goes on Van der Smissen into turn 1. Can he get it done on the brakes? Yes, he can.
Clean move as well on the inside. Good. Someone can make the corner and make the pass stick. That's really nice stuff.
He had a bit of a slide on exit there, and it's going to give Van der Smissen a little bit of a shout. What's Van der Smissen going to do? Is he going to launch it? No, he's not. Good driving for both.
Yeah, Van der Smissen sensibly does it there as well. And of course, Van der Smissen, some good points on the table for him. You know, it'd be a good points all there for the young Dutchman as well. Tom Stevens, so looking to change that a little bit as he goes into sector 2 there, and Van der Smissen runs very wide onto that tarmac on the outside and holds position as well.
Yeah, and from absolutely nowhere, after making very little progress, Frelick's almost on the back of them as well. So could be a better end than we may have seen from Simon Frelick after the first few laps, where he just didn't seem to get anywhere.
He really didn't, and but with accidents and incidents around in front of him as well, that has helped him progress up into that 9th position. We think about it, 25 points for the win earlier. I believe you get 7 points for 9th, so that'd be a great point to win. 32 points you can hold on to that P9. That's more than good for if you have the championship hunt.
But what it proves is why Martin Hemmeson's the champion, because how often have we seen him take first or take second in race 1, and then by lap 4 or 5 he's back up in 5th.
That's very true. I think if you get yourself on the podium race 1 and then a good top 10 finish in race 2, that's a very, very good point source for the day. Just looking to see, and into turn 1, Moscato holds on ahead of Terence Gretsch. He still holds that P3 there. Hoekstra closing down on these guys as well in 5th position with 1.5 laps to go. And you've got Dennehan, Van der Smissen, Stevens, Frelick, and then Thomas Harvey have just been passed. I think Harvey had a problem, or is he up spin? He's gone down behind Jesper Eriksson. He's behind Keon Branton.
Yeah, and about 6 or 7 seconds was the difference between Harvey and Ericsson before that as well, so it must have been an issue for Thomas, which is a shame. Obviously 2 difficult races so far for him, but good to see. We said earlier, didn't we, that Ericsson might have been out of position after qualifying after his pace in Singapore. Obviously had a few issues in Singapore, and then he had the accident earlier on that wasn't his fault. I think he got into a spinner in race 1 on lap 1, but back up in 10th. Good work from Jesper.
Watch out for the podium here, P3. Is Gretsch going to get it down inside? Moscato breaks late, holds on to position nicely as well.
Yeah, great driving.
And we've got Hoekstra. They're all getting closer and closer again. Look at this. It's the bottle effect, isn't it? Cork in the bottle there, Moscato. And it almost loses it. You can't decide whether defence on the inside or holds the racing line. Gretsch is there on the outside. Hoekstra trying to hold down the middle. Hoekstra loses it under power a little bit. That allows Dennehan to close up and try and make it run outside. Can't do it. They all hold position. That was exciting stuff.
Yeah, fantastic driving from Diogo Moscato as well, because he looked all at 6s and 7s, and all of a sudden he was perfectly back in control. Gretsch going to have DRS done straight. As are the 2 behind. What are they going to be able to do?
Ooh, looks like a move from the Santon car down inside. Dennehan dives it into turn 1. Nicely does it up into 5th. And behind them, Van der Smissen defends from Stevens, Frelick in 9th. And so Ericsson rounds at the top 10. About P11, no. Looks like half is past Branton off the track. That looked like to me, but the move's been done for now. Back up front.
Yeah, Gretsch went wide, and now Dennehan's all over him, and Gretsch's gone defensive. Dennehan will probably have good drive from the normal racing line, but it's allowing Moscato to get away a little bit.
Oh, contact! Gretsch just moved across on Dennehan under braking there. By the looks of it there. And they both lost position. That has allowed, free one from Moscato, and Hoekstra's up into 4th position. I'm going to have a quick replay of that.
Yeah, we're on board now, David, and to be honest, it's not really an overtaking opportunity. Not. So, it's not really a heavy braking zone, and Greg's got to turn in at some point. Maybe a bit over-ambitious from Dennehan. It's a shame because he's worked so hard to get back to where he was, and it's ruined both their races, really.
It's contact before the corner, and unfortunately, looking at that now, I think Dennehan's been... I mean, if I was his boss, I'd say you've been too ambitious there, son. Can't be doing that. But back at the front, Luca Flask, the Maltese driver, is going to take victory here in Sochi. He gets the race to victory and 25 points in his bank account for the season. Brilliant stuff. And Omar Galgi crosses line in second place. Moscato in P3. Obviously delighted. Vodka Hoekstra in fourth. Van der Smith in a brilliant P5. Stephen sixth. Frelick seventh. Jake Dennon in eighth position. Terence Retch in ninth. Jesper Eriksson 10th. Harvey 11th. Kevin Moorfield 12th. Dion Branton 13th. Nizio 14th. Tom Miassi rounding out the top 15. And then we have De Bruyne, who's going to just miss out on the points in 16th position. And then I've got a few cars for the back as well.
Still got a bit of racing. They've gone round. It was Downard and Frelich.
Oh dear, dear me.
Frelich and Downard were side by side.
That's not going to happen. Their football manager relations, is it? Really? Let's face it. Downard.
Oh no.
Well, I don't know who to blame there. To be honest, I mean, Downard's got a very acute angle on Frlich. Downard's going to say, well, he didn't leave me space. Frelich's going to say, wow, he wasn't really down inside there, was you? So it's going to be all 6 of one, half dozen the other of that one, isn't it? And he's going to cross the line first out of there. So Downard gets the position from Frlich, and Penny is the last finisher and lap down in 20th. And that, everyone, has been an absolute mess. Really? Let's face it. I mean, congratulations to Luca Flask, obviously, race winner. And we'll speak to him in a few moments' time, obviously, and then obviously for Shimon Frelick for winning race 2. But I'll be honest, the driving standards was poor, and there should be some hung heads there, because that's really, really poor driving there, and hopefully we'll see a big improvement for Kota. But that's been an entertaining evening, shall we say?
I loved every minute of it. Weirdly.
Weirdly.
I say weirdly because we do like people staying on the track and doing things properly, but it was really exciting. There was some really good racing. I thought Moscato's defence towards the end of the race was absolutely phenomenal. Perfectly legal and brilliantly judged. Obviously, McGalgy did brilliantly to come home in second in race 2 there, and Luca Flask absolutely dominated up front and did a fantastic job. So, there was plenty of excitement around the stuff that we would usually call dodgy.
Yeah, well, there's a few guilty parties there. Anyway, I want to quickly move for some interviews. And the first man I'm going to bring in is race 1 winner. And he's done it again. Simon Frelick, race winner again. Great performance in race 1, and then to back up great result in more points in race 2. I say that's a fantastic evening's work from you there.
Yeah, I was worried in qualifying because I didn't get to start my third attempt. I missed it by a couple of seconds, so I was just hoping that no one beats me, and that was the case. And then in race 1, I just pulled the gap to Guyan, and I thought he will hold up the people behind, because I thought he's gonna have a lot of tire wear because he's playing on a controller, and that was the case. And then I had a scary moment in the last lap, nearly lost it, but happy to bring the win back home. Then race 2, it was a frustrating race because whenever I overtook someone, they immediately sent down the inside again. That was like, I guess it's fun as in racing and stuff, but it was infuriating for me because I was losing time to the guys ahead when I could catch up. But got P7 in the end. I was surprised with it, but that's a good lot of points for me, so I'm really happy with this weekend.
I say it's been a very fine few events for you, hasn't it, Shimon? With obviously the RBA's performance as well in Singapore, and taking you your first race win before that as well. So great upturn for form for yourself. I mean, just what's the aim now for the final 3 rounds of the season? Now, it's been a fantastic season for you. I've seen you haven't been able to do the full season, but you came into this round in 5th. you'll be coming out of this round championship pretty confident. You'll be coming out of this third place in the championship. Is your target now for the following 3 rounds? Just keeping that P3 there, staying there?
I think that's my goal right now. Just for the next races, we'll just have to keep performing like we were in those last 3 races, and I think we'll get there. Maybe like me and Patrick in third and fourth. But yeah, unfortunately he couldn't race today. But maybe I I feel like we might get it.
Now, I'll say fingers crossed for you. RBA have been outstanding this year. Obviously, a bit rusty early on with a few mistakes here and there, but overall, fantastic season. We'll be seeing you in 2 weeks' time, and also just as we're on broadcast as well. Thanks for all the hard work you're putting in off track as well, Shimon as well for the community.
Thanks, David.
No problem at all. To do one more interview as well here this evening. Luca Flask with a fantastic victory here this evening, and this is going to help Luca's championship no end by taking the victory here. Luca, we've been seeing you progress round by round. Starting off sort of in the sort of mid pack, and ticking down the race twos are really seeing you sort of grow as a driver. And that race two there was just outstanding. Always out in front comfortably, just almost like a Sunday drive.
Yeah, really. I didn't expect a win tonight. I mean, after race 1, I thought it was like game over, but yeah, I got a win, and I'm very happy and speechless at the same time.
Nah, it's outstanding. Congratulations! Obviously getting that win under your belt is always it's a great feeling. For any driver in any league, getting that first one in a competitive league like this is always very good. We got 3 rounds to go now. We've got Kota, we've got Brazil, we've got Japan. Not in that order, but that's the 3 rounds that we got to go. 86 now, 7th in the championship coming into this event. It's pretty compact, shall we say, as we've actually just lost Lucas fed up of listening to me. Oh yeah, let's bring him back in. Let's bring Luke. I don't know what happened now. I think
Sorry, it froze.
That's all right. I think so. I might have even dragged you out the chat. We don't know, but yeah, Luca, we got it's 3 rounds to go, and 860 racing now. Looking pretty good in 7th for the event. What's the target now for the team? Is it a team goal, or is it just like personal goals now regarding the final 3 rounds?
No, it's actually a team goal. Like we want to score as much points as possible. I mean, starting from the beginning, I used to get P20, P21, and I started progressing bit by bit. So yeah, the end goal is to score as much points as possible to the team.
Yeah, so fingers crossed. But firstly, Luke, I say congratulations. Treasure this day, and hopefully it's a good kickstart for your GPV career next year as well. Fingers crossed. But enjoy tonight. Whatever you're going to drink, enjoy it.
Thank you.
And I'm just going to do one more interview, actually. I'm going to actually do 2 at the same time, actually. I'm going to bring in both Wopke Hoekstra and Justin van der Smissen here, both drivers from the Netherlands. I'm going to start with you, Wopke. It's been a little while since we've had you in the FC broadcast, but some solid results today. A P6 in race 1 and then more good points in race 2 as well. Talk us through it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was pretty good. I qualified in P13, but with penalties and people deleting their laps was P10, which I initially qualified anyway, but I had just some marginal cut, so I deleted the lap and made sure that I wouldn't get a grid drop for next time. So yeah, I had a good start, and I went up to P6 immediately, and that's where I stayed for the rest of the race. And yeah, I had a good battle with Darius Andre, and Diogo Moscato was pushing me from behind as well, so I had to keep my eyes 2 ways actually. So I'm looking a bit cross-eyed right now. And yeah, then second race we had a bad reverse grid because I was in P10 again for the start. This time I lost a position at the start because I got boxed in and wanted to keep it clean. But yeah, then I just mainly profited of other people's mistakes. I had a good battle with the other guy here, Justin, and with some other people as well. Sometimes I think people cross the line in certain terms. But yeah, that's something for the DC to decide if I protest them or not. So we'll see. Anyways, it was a good race and I enjoyed it.
Well, I see many drivers cross the line in the racing today. It's it was pretty rough. Won't get into that anymore now. Justin, fantastic result there in race 2 for you. Obviously, it's been a bit of a learning process for you. Jumping into FC halfway through the season is never easy. But you get some fantastic points today, Justin. You must be feeling over the moon about that.
Yeah, I'm really happy to score some points after three times driving in FC, and I guess it's all thanks to all the test races in the Academy Series and the experience I got from all the other Formula Challenge races I did. So yeah, to get P13 and P5, both races in the points, is a really amazing result.
So we've got 3 rounds to go now. Obviously, I don't know your full contract situation with a team, but is it the case of getting a full-time drive now and then enjoying the final 3 rounds of the season, the aim now for you?
Yeah, it will be the aim, but yeah, I don't know what's going to happen for the last 3 rounds. But yeah, I have some plans for next season, so hopefully then I'll get some seed in FC.
Fantastic. Well done for today. We wish you all the best for the final 3 rounds and enjoy yourself. Congratulations for today. Obviously, getting your first points on the board is always a great feeling. So enjoy, have a great evening, and hopefully we'll be seeing you in 2 weeks' time as well.
Thank you.
No worries at all. Ewan, we've made it. We've done Sochi. We've ticked that box off our list. We've got 3 more rounds to go. These poor sods having to listen to me for another 3 rounds as well, if they want to. But yeah, interesting evening. I'll say just your final thought, really.
Yeah, interesting evening. Some fantastic racing. Let's focus on the positive. Some fantastic racing side by side for most of the races, and you could hear from Vodka's voice when he was talking about his battle with Diogo and Darius that he was really enjoying it. So that's good. If the drivers are enjoying it, we're probably enjoying it. And we've got 3 fantastic tracks to finish the season with as well that we know will promote good racing. So can't wait to see what's going to happen for the remainder of the year.
I can't either. And Kota last year had some brilliant racing as well. I remember that very, very fondly. But that's in 2 weeks' time. Of course, we've got Super Cup next week as well. Super League Lights and Super League, of course, here at Kota. And me and Ewan are now off to play Football Manager for the next 2 weeks. So we'll be looking forward to managing our clubs. But until then, we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Again, thanks to Gerrit for today being on cameras. Enjoy yourselves, look after yourselves, keep safe, and we'll see you in Kota. Bye for now.